So in my athletic career, played multiple sports growing up and eventually played at the collegiate level for baseball. And I experienced a lot of different injuries as I started to get 18, 19, 20 years old, to the point of in my early collegiate baseball career, my sophomore year, injured myself in the weight room. It was more like a tweak or something like that. It kind of racking weight and like a clean or something. I don't exactly remember what I was doing, but it's like, oh, one of those like, ooh, feel something. Disregard, young and dumb, whatever. And so we had hitting in the cages later that day just because it was raining and whatnot. And we were hitting off to some nasty curveballs off the machine. And I swung through several of them. And that violent end range rotation really started to stir something up in my spine, my low back. And it just, it's January, it's prepping toward February, which would be the season. You're aiming to get into to the travel roster to go to our first weekend series, and we're there, and it's the first day. It's Friday night. We're hitting BP. It's like third round. I take a swing, and I'm just like fall to my knees, and just the low back is just on fire, absolutely on fire, and just it's experiencing an injury like anyone experiences it. You kind of like go through the process. ATC looks at you. You're kind of shut down, obviously, for the day, and it didn't feel right throughout the rest of the weekend. Whatever. The problem that I had in my experience was that I wasn't given a direct plan. I wasn't given a direct, hey, this is what's going on. This is mechanism of injury. This is what your symptoms present. This is what we've seen before. This is what we're going to do. Here's the plan. You want to do this. It was more so, hey, check in with the training room, see what they say. I'm like, okay, I'm 19 years old at that time, barely getting in the thought process of PT school eventually, but most of my focus was on baseball. And so I go to the training room, see the team doc, and he's like, oh yeah, here, have a bunch of Celebrex. Just a ton of Celebrex, just high content anti-inflammatory. I'm like, what? With no reason. If they would have given me an explanation like, you need to attack this thing with NSAIDs for the next 3 to 4 days, take out inflammation, then we can actually get you back to moving into the cages, everything else, then there would have been a little incentive behind it. But I didn't understand what was going on, probably not enough questions, and I was like, I'm not taking a bunch of those. I might take a few of them, back still hurts, can't swing. Oddly enough, I throw right-handed, I hit left-handed so I can throw, and so I was able to just kind of stay relatively active in that standpoint. But dragged along for multiple weeks, and then ended up being a couple months of not having a plan, having to outsource my rehab to somewhere else, and eventually finding a place that would help me. And I think time really kind of helped in general there. Like 3 months down the road, it started to heal. I just needed a little bit of a reset, and I was back at it. Then I could swing again, and then it was close to the end of the season, and then so on and so forth. Just kind of like got out of baseball. And so that process for me drives my relationship with every single client, probably more so with the athlete. It's because what I experience is what I would hope no one would ever experience in their rehab adventure, their rehab journey, is to be taken away from something that they truly love, not have an answer on how to get back, and then are stopped from doing what they want to do just because they didn't have the right resources, when there's resources around you to get the job done. And so when I talk to young athletes and they come in with an injury, I absolutely promise to them every single time that I will give you every single bit of my knowledge and my effort and my energy to get you back to what you want to do. Because in this day and age, with the amount of resources we have and the science that we have behind the things that we do, there is nothing that should stop your athletic career unless it's just sheer potential. Your own genetic potential will stop you. Outside of that, you have resources to use in the rehab world, the strength and conditioning world, the mindset, and the nutritional world. And I think taking that with every single experience I have with clients really it gets me connected at a deeper level, because it makes me care more that I don't want them to lose their identity. I don't want them to lose their ability to play their sport, to interact with their family, to work at the job that they need to work at, do the things they love to do. So turning a negative at the time really drove me to deciding to go into the profession and do it way better than anything I experienced.